It's time for our conversation. Today, we will be talking about the making of Liberia's multi-democracy. From the founding of the name and a native on the land and the free men of colors they were once called. And this is not to be negative. This is just our history. Okay, so that's just a disclaimer to clear that air. And I have been listening to church people per se. So before we continue, I like to introduce the song Peter sent it to me. I think it's Takonje Fake Life. And they're showing individual, but it's not just individual, it's the whole nation. It is the leadership. It is and the leadership does not just go to the people at the top, but also in our homes, our fathers, our mothers, those who shape and change generations. The other day, I was looking where Namibia pay off her a loan to IMF. Ghana has been trying, so has Burkina Faso and many other nations, while the rest of the nation go running for more loans in the name of building roads. And they are not building the roads, they're bringing people who do not reciprocate our gesture to build a road. We have not prepared our population and created a skill that is required to take us to our next stage. Japan were able to recover fast because they believe in investing in human capital. They have like 97% literacy rate. Singapore, South Korea, you name them. Okay, so to start off, let's begin with this. Let's see what Takon has for us.
It's a banaro. Takunche. Sibiripira patala. You unaja wancha. You want John Wish. You not ever palava. You want choice. You get Oka. You want wrong with speed. But you want show. You want show. But you want show. And I mean, yeah, I just came a little. Where my hand now wish I cannot force it. You not on salary, or you want him a check. When the moko finish, then you start to bid. You not got here, then you want some more weed. You can pay bill, then you want LC. You say the food not sweet, but you still eating it. Tell me what you forcing you.
So that was Takon J, folks. Welcome to Second Thought. We are Bridge, we are Liberians, we are the Americans, we are generations of Americans and Liberian. We belong to a tri-state, but first and foremost, we're part of the human race, and that is what's important. Now, we will be talking about the making of the Liberian democracy, okay? And that's what we're going to be speaking to. That said, I'm going to start this conversation with, and then I'm going to play a video, and hopefully some of you can listen to it, and let's make sense of it. I have been listening to the TRC report, the interview with Chair Chipo. I have my own thought about him. The more I go into the video and listening to him, there's a lot of confusion. 1 minute he wants to be his own man, another meaning he want to be identified with certain people. And this is what happened when we get lost in translation. When sometimes you feel you're old people, or you're trying to be independent, but at the same time build bridges. But it's deeper. I may have, the other day when I was doing this, and Emmerich listening and say he embellished some of this. I think he was ambitious. I think so. I also think that he was deeply hurt, and that's just not him. I think that most of the nation were hurt based on what he said. But I want to play this with this guy. What's his name? The chair for UP, the current leading party. Okay, the current leading party. This is him. I like to. All right. I like to play this. This is Luther Tappet, the current chairman of the Liberian party in Liberia. Okay, the UP party. I want you to listen to him. Okay, and then we'll go to arrogance. And then I will read something, and then we're going to take that from there. Listen to him.
Like it, you call it, I your business. But I believe in my heart, United Party will rule the country for over 200 years. The reason is not based on some fallacy. It's based on stupendous projection that clearly indicates that Unity Party remains supreme in the politics of Liberia. And I can say to you, all of you here, young comrades from different parts of the town, the city, and even beyond Moserado County, you are the future of the Unity Party. Whatever you like it, you call it, are your business. But I believe.
Whatever you call it, if you like it, that's your business. Here is where I come in, and I keep telling Liberian people. When you do politics and politics, most people do, even around the world, on identity. Okay. When you are being abused, and those who abuse you, you continue to reward them, that you do not hold them accountable, they grow arrogant. They feel that they're untouchable. They feel entitled. This is where we are in this moment in time in Liberia. Okay, this is where we are. When those who abused you yesterday, you know what's funny is that I hear UP people saying, we gave this country to this man for 6 years and he messed it up. Indeed, he did. We are did. We are brought in people who didn't mean well for him, who were too greedy, were too hungry too quickly. Okay? Did not think about the future. And what most UP people at this point need to understand is, especially Luther Tappet, Luther, I live in America. America, I have lots and a lot of political party. Okay? And some of them I had president maybe twice, and they never came back. They never came back. They were Republican, Democratic Party. They have been party, two-win party. All of that was here. Okay? Liberian people will grow up and they will stand up, they will open their eyes, and they will start asking for more, because we are not asking for more now because of the situation that Liberians found themselves in. And because of that, they are not asking for more, but they will ask for more. Okay? And I know you will go back and say, oh, we get our country to we have for 6 years and he did this. After the war, the Reconstruction era, the Liberian people gave UP their country to rebuild it. The Liberian people gave their country to the UP, trusting them that they will reconstruct the country. They will change things. They will give them hope. They will bring in justice and accountability. They will restructure the country when a nation suffer tragedy, be it natural tragedy or man-made tragedy. The government that takes it over, that government has the responsibility to redirect the nation, not just redirect the nation, redirect every part of it. Okay, politics in campus, your economy, your security, your education. Okay, it is the show that holds a nation. Reputable organizations do not come to your country if the political environment is hostile. People have to understand that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this, and I started to read it, and usually when I come on, it's late. It's late. This is the beginning. This is not my beginning. My grandpa used to say, and my dad, the love of liberty met me here. I always ask everyone, go and read your Declaration of Independence, because all of us have to adhere to it. And because it is, so we say that is that. Now, I'm going to start from this. This is not the making of Liberia more democracy. This is the beginning of the autocracy. For 130 years, Liberia was autocracy, although it was organized under the name unitary state. We say, those of us who teach government, unitary is a dictatorship in disguise, because everything is centralized. And within this particular context, it was. So I'm going to read to you right here. We're going to start here. This is the middle part, the second paragraph, which is said, we the representatives, but I'm going to jump to that. All right. And I'm going to do, while announcing to the nation of the world the new position which the people of this republic have felt themselves called upon to assume. Courtesy to their opinion seemed to demand a brief accompanying statement of the course which induced them first to expatriate themselves from the land of their nativity and to form settlement on this barbarous island or barbarian coast. It is where we are, Liberia. It is barbarian coast, they call it, meaning violent, uncivilized, whatever name you want to call it, where barbarian is, that's what it is. That's what they call. And now, organize their government by the assumption of a sovereign and independent character. Therefore, we respectfully ask their attention to the following facts. We recognize in all men certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the right to acquire life, freedom. This is exactly what is in the American Declaration. Okay, this is that. But if first go here on top, a Declaration of Independence by the representative of the people in the Commonwealth of Liberia in convention assembled July 16, 1947. We, the representative of the people of the Commonwealth of Liberia, in the convention assembled, invested with the authority of forming a new government, rallying upon the aid and protection of the great arbiter of human event, do hereby in the name and on behalf of the people of this Commonwealth, published and declared the said Commonwealth a free, foreign, sovereign, and independent state by the name and title, the Republic of Liberia. Now, let's continue here briefly. And it goes, we talk about the inalienable right to required, okay? It's a required to acquired, possess, enjoyed, and defend property by the practice and consent of men in all ages. Some system, form of government is proved to be necessary to exercise, enjoyed, and secure their right. And every people have the right to institute a government and to choose and adapt that system or form of it, which in their opinion will most effectively accomplish these objects, and secure their what? Happiness, which does not interfere with the just right of others. The right, therefore, to institute government and power necessary to conduct it is an inalienable right and cannot be resisted without the grossest injustice. Okay, grossest injustice. We, the people of the Republic of Liberia, were originally, okay, let me state, we, the people of Liberia, we, the people of the Republic of Liberia, were originally inhabitants of the United States of North America. In some parts of that country, we were debarred by laws from all rights and privileges of men. In other parts, public sentiment, more powerful than law, frowned us down. We were excluded from all participation in the government. We were taxed without our consent. We were compelled to contribute to the resources of country, which gave us no protection. We were made a separate and distinct class, and against us, every avenue of improvement was effectively closed. Strangers from other land of color different from ours were preferred before us. It's still happening today. Now you continue. We authored our complaint, but they were unattended to, or only met by alleging a peculiar institution of the country. Now, it's plenty, it's long. It's long, okay? It comes all the way down here. Now, somebody will ask why all of this tonight. I'm listening to the TRC report. Most of us during the 130 years of autocracy in Liberia. Barbarous. It's a barbarous. That's what it said. But barbarous course. That's what they call Liberia. Yes. Okay. Listen. For me, as a history teacher, when I get new students, the first couple of weeks, I let the children know, because at the grade level I'm teaching, most of the kids, is shocking to them when we get deep into the history, that the transatlantic slavery, when we talk about maybe the colony of America, when we talk about the Civil War in the United States, especially Georgia role that she played, it gets really deep. Okay, it makes the Black kids start thinking differently, the way they see each other, and the white kids. So I set the tune that the essence of learning history is not to make you bitter, but to make you better. Okay, when you look at human suffering or human events that are shaped all of our lives, okay, we have the responsibility to meet in real time, to set a goal. Okay, like Michael Jackson said, heal the world. To heal the world. Okay, certain things are human nature, but we, the next generation, have the responsibility to shape and create an environment that they want to see that other did not do rightly. So for us to move forward, Garvey said, a people without the history is like a tree without root. In Shintoism, this is Japanese philosopher, okay? The Japanese people said, when a tree grows without a root, eventually it dies because it does not spread out, because there's nothing underneath to hold it. So we have the responsibility to one another to see where we have traveled as a nation. And if we can do that and look each other in the face, okay, and chat different quotes and say, this is what you did. I see people who victimize Liberians for 130 years, come around paying victim, set up their children, their grandchildren, their great-great-grandchildren up for the future. Whether they spoil it, they didn't spoil it, their problem. I'm listening to people and said these people will go out and borrow money and divide among themselves and put it in Swiss banks. I remember when my great aunt, who was a Cooper, Luke Cooper or Daniels, would take vacation to Las Palmas. Okay? When our people died, some of us thought if Liberia were created, although they call it barbarous island coast, was created, it was an idea, an oasis for Black people to build a nation that would be a modern nation for Black people. That's what Liberia is supposed to be. That was the idea. That was the experiment was about. That we are able to lead ourselves. Maybe we were not set to succeed because the Constitution itself was not set to succeed. We built it out of the discrimination that was taking place in America. Listen, those who can, they're narrating their story. They pay taxes just as the native and pay taxes. Okay. My great uncle was literally kidnapped and taken to Firestone because of what taxes. Some of them end up going to Fananipo. Liberians was selling Liberians as slaves to Fananipo. I think that's what you call it. Because certain people feel so important. They say power corrupts. Yes. And absolute power corrupt absolutely. That's why I'm listening to Chechipo. And then I'm listening to Luther Cap and Luther Tappet, the UP chairman. You see, good, outspoken, got his big words in a country where I would say 60% cannot read at 8th grade level, have all these big words. I've listened to somebody that Obama, some of the most intelligent people in the world, and they speak at 5th grade level. Unless they were among their peers, you're speaking to the world. You're speaking to a nation that you put a bunch of people outside they can't read. You're speaking to a nation that had not even transitioned from the 18th century. Brother Thomas, let me finish the show and I'll call you. All right. Okay. So you are talking to them. You got 90% unemployment. But you are telling the people that, wow, you're going to stay in power forever. My younger brother Nyatwan came to America and said they know how to win. They will wait around election time come. They will give you a bag of rice and T-shirt and you will vote for them. And they will rule. Majority of the people, Nyatwan and your father were working for government. Barbara's son, like Kanyo Barbara, that's all he knows. Father worked for God. His father was some of the people who misled though. He was educated. No proof that the majority can read. That's correct. But I was supposed to be some of the native educated people. But those were the people who became so arrogant. Instead of leading Doe, who was a young man, I'm not making no excuses for Doe. Even the little boy in Burkina Faso took over with coup. You know, when I hear Liberian people come back and say, oh, the blood on the land, I went the land in doing the rest riot. The people open fire on students. They murder them in cold blood. I'm not saying eye for an eye. I'm not saying that. Hey, Brother Emmanuel, I'm not saying that. I'm saying no one, it does not matter what your position. Life is life. It's sacred. Nobody has the right to take it. I think they needed to take them out, but they didn't have to kill them. Jail them somewhere. Prosecute them, jail them somewhere. And maybe the people are too afraid because they were powerful. They have money all over the place. It's not for me to justify. But 130 years in your ally, Liberia was good for you. Just like those in power today will tell you Liberia is good for them and their family. The little group of them, okay? But here's what's going to happen. When I was growing up, Liberia was not good for me and my family. My grandma had to go fishing before we can have good food to eat. My parents have to make farms so we could live off the farm. My grandfather have to go cut palm nut or have his boys go dig cassava, sell it to be able to send his children to school because he wanted them to be able to read and write. That was not our culture, our kind of book, but that was what was forced upon us. The very government, the few group of people that came, declared the whole country theirs and said nobody owned the land. Although my family have been on the land over hundreds of years. Like everybody popping out of the blue sky. And that's why I was so disappointed when Papi Boaka came and said, God, not making new land. This is supposed to be a leader with 42 years history. For where we've traveled. Let me tell you something. China existed for hundreds of years. China had a 22-year civil war. That civil war took out the empire, the last empire. And when they did, and Mao Zedong took over, all right? And when he took over and created a communist country, or government, you know what he did? They took the lands, even people who had land, they brought it together. They call it a commune. And they wanted to invest deep into agriculture. Although Mao's idea of isolationism didn't work, but when Deng came, he said, no, we're gonna redistribute the land. Okay, I'm gonna talk more to you about China. How China came from hunger, starvation, isolation, being all the way back to becoming a superpower in no time. Chinese were looking for food in 1976. Chinese were unemployed in 1976. Liberian president and their girlfriend and their boyfriend and the small children that they were molesting and creating place and putting them on mission in whatever the different mission they were putting them on, when they were doing that and taking vacation to America, to Las Palmas and all of those places. China were looking for food to eat. 1945, during World War II, Japan was bombed. Millions of people died. The ground was level. You know what they did? Yes, they got help. Liberia got help too. Billions of help. You know what they did? They restructured their country. They kept the monarchy as the head of state. They made the prime minister the head of government. The head of state is literally the face of the country. The head of government is the person who runs the government, like the CEO. Liberia fought war and refused. The very constitution that you all say were bad, that the very constitution you're using. And not only do you all do that, you all came back. You all took down the little decentralization that were there, like selecting, in fact, electing city mayor. You're moving because the people you wanted to bring have character that people they may not have passed or may not have, how you call it. Then we introduced the brown bag. So we moved those guardrails. We are not a democracy, but I wanted to talk about the making of Liberia multi-democracy. I'm gonna play this, and before I play this short video with Chechipo, I'm gonna be inserting it there. I want to talk to Gregory Coleman a little bit. Gregory Coleman, you have no character. And if we can see through you, what you all have to understand at this point, let me tell you something. When I went to Liberia in 1998, first I went 95 and I bought some properties in the Peace Island in Ghana's on the other side, because my mother was there. I still have the pictures. When I went back, all that land was gone. People said go to court. Nah, that's, I mean, if the land that was $20 at the time, a lot, if I'm gonna go pay $2,500 just for a lawyer to take my case, I don't need that. I don't live in Liberia. The houses I built is there. Never slept in it with me, might never sleep in it. It's not that serious. There's so much one person can have. I have enough in the United States. I have enough still up interior. So I'm gonna keep it as that. Now, who's here? Now, I was talking about the land. So the old man said, like, we're not making no more new land. But I want you all to listen here. I see people popping from everywhere. Now, if you say you came to the land, you bought it. Under the same tune, you say you brought Canaan. You fought and killed the people and took the land. And what they say when we were in school, they were teaching us, like American people tell a story. We never won the war in Vietnam. We did not win the war in Vietnam. We ran away. When Ho Chi Minh told the U.S. people, Ho Chi Minh told them, we know you have a stronger army, but you're on my land. When you kill 100 of us, we'll kill one of you. In the end, you will lose. And we did. So we left. Afghanistan, we left. Iraq, we left. We can go on and on and on and on and on. So the point I'm making to you is, all of these places that I named, they restructure. But the most successful one will be Singapore. Ghana is looking to hit the $140 billion GDP mark by the end of 2026. That's the projection. Liberia is running all day long. When the story get hot, Gafwan come on Facebook to post that Millennium Challenge about to come. So let's just look at it this way. So if America cancel that program, no Millennium Challenge, so what happens? And I was talking about us forgetting about who we are. When Baba John then, and Harris then, and Henrys, and Coopers, and Dennis's, and all of those people ruled the nation, my family didn't have enough to eat. And my family is huge. So you stop it. Monrovia is not Liberia. Maryland is not Liberia, has never been, will never be. Liberia is all of us. Liberia is not Congo. Liberia is not country. Liberia is us as a nation, as people, as brothers, as sisters, as women, as men. And the leader should eat last. We can see Bwaka hurrying to get rich. He and his children to leave enough for his children, children. That's what he's doing. And maybe he will resign before his time over. So Jeremiah Kun came school over, but Jeremiah Kun does not even understand. Selling gasoline on your head, going to Guinea and China and printing false money and getting girlfriend at the bank to wash your black money, okay? And getting yourself on stuff. That's not how you build a nation. You have to disabuse his mind. I'm saying that. I still have some of the ballast pictures when he and Edith ran against each other. He can't. Waka charge him to form a group to go create a policy, to bring an economic policy, to create jobs, to uplift the nation. What he put together the other day that Liberian people went off for, that's your vice president, what he put together. And I heard he say he don't like educated people. Well, you don't have a choice. It's the age of education. This is the age of AI. This is the age of .com. This is the age that when you open your phone, you open your laptop, it say, hello, Yacindy, here is your customized news for the day. Because they know what I watch. This is the age where when you talk in your room, your TV send a wave to something else and they pop it on your phone. They know where you've been. That's the age. We're actually living in a fence, in a digital bubble. That's the age, oh man. So the making of Liberia mortar democracy. I want you all to listen to Church. Okay. I would have loved to have a conversation with him while he was still alive. This is not to divide us. This is to learn each other. The country children have not done well either. My story is, when people sit and say Liberia was this, Liberia was that. I was not allowed certain places as a native girl who spoke a dialect. I love being called Yaha. Yaseni, that's my name. Once Yaseni, Ngonima Kante. Mawege. Adama. I love to say my grandfather came from Grand Jida and settled in Nimakante. I like to say my mother, father is from Greer and is Gil. I like to say I am named after one of the most powerful Zoe in Nimakante, Meneseni. I like to say that and find pride in it. And that you don't have to call me Ophelia or Esther or Mary to consider me whatever, civilized. I don't know what the heck that is, by the way. And that speaking English is not the sign of intelligence. Nowhere. Japanese people don't speak English. Chinese people don't speak English. Okay? The cars you drive, the Lexuses, the Toyota, you name it. The Subaru, yes, yes. Majority of the parts, they're somewhere in Japan. They have the highest education and some of the smartest people in the world. China, India. In fact, in India, it has to do with where you prioritize. In India, the people next to God are intellectuals, educated people, and the priests, they're at the same level. That's why education is so important to them. That's how you build a nation. Now, I got about a few minutes, so let me play this Chia Chipo video, okay? And then we're going to finish up. But we'll be back on Thursday. On my morning ride, I will be doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will not do every day. Okay, so I will put the schedule up. Every day is a lot. I try to do the 10 minutes, but maybe I can try. But it's actually a lot on me. It takes a lot of energy trying to get those content together and everybody. So let's listen to this man, the making of Liberia mortar democracy, according to Chair Chipo. Let's go ahead and listen.
Choose and speak good English. Otherwise, you countrymen. And when you are countrymen, you got no place here. This is not a country people place. This is a Morocco Liberian society. I have problem with that. I think it should have been changed. And it should be changed during my time. So, the march was legal. Citizens have a right to stage a legal process or have a legal dissent with the judgment of government. They do that everywhere. Even in America when I was there, during the Martin Luther King protest days, people march. Yeah, they put them in jail, but they go to court and release them. They are not criminals. they just violate what you call public safety laws. When you violate public safety law, the penalty is not death, be shot by soldiers and wounded by them without medical treatment. Oh, no, I just violated public safety law. My penalty is supposed to be light fine and go by my business and never to do it again. No, the Two Party took a peaceful march. I call it a peaceful march. You impose the price of rice. We had renegotiation. We didn't just jump out and go make march. We were responsible people with women and children. I say women, eh? No, I mean, they have women, not me now. Not that I have plenty of women. I mean, I don't know about that, but, you know, I mean, all of us were married people. We're responsible, educated boys, men and women. And we didn't want to go and just violate the law. And they had an experienced lawyer who had already been working in the Justice Department, in the system. One of the lawyers who was able to tell the president, say, you got to pay taxes. That's why your president can pay taxes now. I said, man, pay taxes. The law was there, but they didn't go by it. That who know you system. Because you president, you be and say, oh, I will not collect tax from you. And you get the highest salary. Then you say, you may not pay taxes. That was not cool. That was not constitutional. But the True Party did not do that. They didn't have to shoot the boys for demonstrating. No, let them, get them police protection. Let them march. When they get hungry, they will leave the streets. Just make sure they don't destroy and damage public property and individual and put other individuals at risk. As long as they march through the street peacefully and airing their differences, the government shouldn't have problem. No, they went on a tangent of shooting. And the thing about it in this place is that the few American Liberians will take native men to suppress native men. The police that shot our boys and wounded us and put us in jail, those who kept keys, lock and keys and whipped us, they were native people. They were that American Liberian people. For self-interest, you will go against your own brother. That's what got us here today. Thank you. We could have had a better treatment in prison. Nobody was supposed to be killed if our native policemen did not take the wrath on us and shoot us. I didn't see any American Liberian man as a police in the street. It was the Vibe boys and the Ketebo boys and the Bassa boys, the Gola boys and the Loman boys. They were the police. They shot their own people. They shot us. Then we blame it on the few just because they were at the top. We should stop that. We should all be committed to act civilly. When you want to do something, think to yourself, is it fair, humanly? We all go to church every Sunday here. Is it religiously correct? Would it be nice in the sight of God before you do it? Don't do it for self-interest. And that's what they did to us. They murdered their fellow citizens. But the problem I have with the system was, when it happened, they should have conducted an investigation in the police force. They should set up a committee to investigate. Who fired the first shot? Because I know William Arotoba did not tell them to come shoot us. I know he didn't do it. I know William Arotoba well. He was caught between the system. He was the most progressive president the country ever had, because I saw him. The man who took my hand and put it in Albert White's hand, my superintendent at Grand Jede County, and said, there's some good in the man. Toba knew that there was some good in our movement. And I know he could not have told the police, y'all go and shoot. But our own people, Joe Myers, he was the police director, our own boys. Joe Myers is a man from Zwedru, Grand Jede County. They shot our boys and made and brought the confusion. So it's not just the American Liberians. It is both The American Liberian and the so-called native people. And the native people, I don't know, because they eat plenty pepper, they don't have a sensitive, resolute, rational way of responding to things. Everything that force. You can't advise your children, you must beat them. Once your mom tell you, Papa, that you did so, he ready to beat you. That's how my father used to do. He will now one day advise you and say, well, okay, you don't do that when your mom tell you, you must try to do this. Yeah, don't do it. No, Papa will not do it. Soon mama say, look, that man acted rude today. In fact, he said he insulted our visitor here and he's going around fighting other children. You are ready? He's ready for punishment. And I know all of you know what I'm talking is true. They ain't got mercy. They ain't got reconsideration. They just take action. And when you put them in the police force and in the army, they will just take action because they get the power. That's what brought us here today. I wish the police can come talk here too. And not just leave it with the government and myself. Because they were the one who fired the first shot. Our intention was good. The price is high. You say we will not reduce it, the government cannot reduce it. Then since government cannot reduce it, we will make our protest public. That's all we did. But they did not take the penalty of death. It didn't worth it. That's what they did. And when they did that, then we became more determined. They want to crush us. And Chechibo, Baka Matthew, Oscar Quia, these are boys that you can't crush. You know these boys came from difficulties. Baka's father did not take care of him, and he's proud of telling us that. Matthew did not take care of Baka's. Baka's grandmother took care of him from small because Matthew said that was not his child. Mr. Matthew. So Baka and Matthew also know the agony of being born in that kind of situation. I wish that this hearing will make Liberian people know that all of us were not wrong. We were just victims of our system. The American Liberians, the country people, the police, those of us who rioted in the street, we just victims of a bad system. And I think the reason I agreed to come here, because even though they misspelled my name 2 times, TRC, that's supposed to write, what you call it, history. Why y'all call that kind of history y'all coming right? Contemporary history. You are contemporary man, contemporary commission. You will spell Chibo's name wrong. Go to any newspaper, they'll tell you my name. Go to any press. Ask anybody in the country. Anybody you see go to Sunday with suit on, ask him to spell Chipo. My name always in the newspaper. When it is few days, I don't talk. And President Ellie even have problem with that. Say, why are you not talking? I say, well,
So I'm gonna mute this a little bit. Okay. And then we're gonna do this.
Even though the party went and put all kind of people in the government, all kind of people in the legislature. Why I'm an old man now?
Oh, I didn't mean to cut that off. Okay, where are we with this? Due to, okay. All righty. Okay, so that was Chair Chipo. That's the part that I want to play because my night is almost over. And I want to explain to y'all. One thing that I don't agree with him on is when he's saying we were victim of the system. It is correct. Who uphold the system? Who was in charge of the system? Who was the head of state? He said a few people were at the top. The few people were in charge of the 1.52 million people. 400 or 4,000 people were in charge of all the natural resources. The story here is long. It goes to the point I say the reason rice was that way is Talbot was selling rice. He had a rice farm. Okay, but we will continue. Let me see if I can bring this back. I can bring Mr. Chipo back. I don't know what part it was. That's the thing. and I listened to it before I did this, so it would be hard to pull that. Okay, so the question that I'm asking is, he keeps saying it was the system. Just as Liberian people said now, it is the system. Who is the system? Who is enjoying the system? Uh-huh. Okay. So I'm going to stop here because I like to view and post the one that I want to listen to, and the rest of you can listen to that. Yes. Okay. But we were all victim of the system. Now, who built the system? How do we fix the system? Because we all have recognized that somebody was in charge of the system. Somebody was benefiting for the system. Somebody and their children and their grandchildren were benefiting for the system. People, just like we are doing now, right? We have these people in charge of the country, and they are going and take loans, like eat all you can eat. The future, the children will pay in the future. That's where Liberia is now. The people know they can embellish with the road. They sprinkle a little quota, some gravel, our people in see it before. They leave it there. And what do? They take the money in the bag, like the $25 million that was put out to grade a road. The road was not fixed. We saw, if you're ready to change your nation, when the people told this young man, what's his name? Traore, certain things cannot be done. It will cost billions of dollars for him to fix the road. He said, we'll train our people, we'll hire our people, we'll buy the machine, we'll do our set. That's what China does. That's what Japan does. That's what America does. You're borrowing the money to give it to other people to build your road. You're not borrowing the money to train your people. You're not building the human capital. A nation cannot grow before its people. The people will become slave or they'll become extinct. We've seen that in America. You build the people will build the country, and they will build it at the highest speed. When you create the skill that is needed, that is marketable, when you create the human capital, you invest in your human capital. Every generation that you invest in, that's 100 years of investment. It just don't fade out. I have changed career 3 times. I came from telecommunication to electronics, to finance, now to education. Because I have foundation. Right now, if I got it and say, you know what, I want to do coding, I can do it because I did programming. I did some Solaris database programming. I went to school during the age of what do you call it? Prompts. We didn't have digital electronics. We have manual. We have analog. I have spent my hour, but we will continue this conversation. Okay? And I'm going to finish with this as I continue. I'm going to finish with our Declaration of Independence. I talked about I stopped the way it said we ordered our complaint, but they weren't attended or only met by alleging the peculiar institution of the country. And it says, all hope of favorable change in our country, this is America, was thus wholly extinguished in our bosom, meaning they lost all hope in their heart, okay, or English. And we look with what anxiety for some asylum from the deep degradation, okay, deep degradation, all right? This is how they felt living here in America, and we're looking for solution. Okay, the western coast of Africa was the place selected by the American benevolence and philanthropists for our future home. We move beyond those influences which oppose us, who oppress us in our native land. America is the native land. Okay, it was hope we will be enabled to enjoy those rights and privileges and exercise and improve those faculties which the God of nature has given us in common with the rest of mankind. Yeah, that under the auspices of what American colonization society, we established ourselves here on the land acquired by purchase from the Lord of the soil. Let me tell you something. This is a contradiction. Okay. It's a contradiction. Here's why it's a contradiction. It's a contradiction because we said we went to war, the Bassa people were fighting, or the people in that land were fighting. Matilda Nepo came and brought the cannon and they shot the people. So the people almost like when the different Indian group, okay, the Mohegan, when they say they can't sell their land, and the people came with their guns and England sent more guns and say you either send it, or we're gonna send you out. So I want to know which is what. So they say the hero always in the history is the person who writes the story. We get to write our own story. My grandpa told, during the full moon of interior that was this in country, this is how our stories are passed down. We sit by the fire hut, and our grandparents tell us the story of their father and their forefathers. And they tell the folk story, the story of the spider, the dragon, married to wisdom, the woman who wanted the most beautiful man in the land, the one who could never be certified, the good daughter, the humble one, the proud one. We're quite piano, the difference part of the story. The story of the dragon that will never satisfy. All the story, and you're told those stories. And I will tell you something. I believe there's a higher power. Our people, they know the name of the God. Jesus, Muhammad, no. But they knew there was a higher power. So they go to the river and they make sacrifice. They know the tree exists because something put it there and feed it, and it grows. And they believe in the things that they believe in. And they say, the Bible says, oh no man nothing but love. In my tribe, in my village, we believe you don't owe anyone. So when family die, when somebody dies, the town crier go out and ask, does this woman or man owe anyone? That debt has to be paid before you're buried. And we live in an honest society. We live in a moral society. They're quite uncivilized. But we didn't have doors to our huts. We dry our rice in the sun. We patch it with the wood that we broke. We didn't take what didn't belong to us. We set trap. Even as a girl, I knew my pleasure. I could set a trap Lay the big flat one that will hold the growing animals. Go fishing. Climb trees. Create my own slingshots, my own rubber gun, build my own sidewalk taxi. Learn to hunt. Yes, I was that girl. So I grew up in an honest society. Then we brought what is called democracy. That's supposed to be, what is democracy? That the power is in the hands of the people. Democracy is the system of government where the people have the power to choose their leaders and influence decisions. And we don't have that. And yet Josiah Joka say, our people must sign NDA. Thank you who shared the video. That's not a power company, that's not a private company. But he getting our people who work and supposed to be answerable to the public to sign an NDA. And we're here to find out what the NDA about. Josiah Joka, who protested with me for transparency at US Congress in New York. The one who spoke of corruption. And we are government not being transparent. You know what's shameful? When I hear you people say, we give our country to the man for 6 years and he messed it up. But they took it for 12 years and got billions of dollars to restructure the nation. And they squander it. But they have the nerve. I don't believe them. And I told Liberian people, whenever you make decision, when you're angry, it will most likely are the wrong decision. When you make decision, when you are in fear, scared, most of the time that decision is wrong. To make good decision, concrete decision, Liberian. What do Liberian need? At this point, we need economic viability. We need a diversified economy. We need somebody who understands how to build an economy. We need someone who will prioritize the Liberian people to put the human resources at the top of the food chain. Invest in the human capital. We need somebody who believes in communication. They say a leader does not become a great leader until that leader masters the communication. You must talk to the people. The rule of law, no democracy, not even autocracy. If the laws are not enforced, the country is messed up. And I come to law enforcement in closing. Gregory Coleman lie and say Liberian police were nominated and gained 10th place in the world. That's bull S. That's nonsense. You are beating people for protesting. You lied when you took over the Capitol building. You beat up people who protested, put them up and took it over. And you lied on people. Yesterday, I watched your police beating a young man. Arms pulled down. Watch somebody slapping. A leg is stretched. One person got one leg. And somebody jumped and stepped on his leg. I will play on my morning show tomorrow. And you're lying. We may report Gregory Coleman or the people you're shot at enjoy and refuse to investigate. We may report the treatment that Liberians are going through. We are all ears and eyes. Yes, some of the system, the context that we have, right now we are what SF. Uh, 616, I'm not sure what the question is about. I'm talking about democracy. I'm talking about the story of Liberia. I'm talking about the TRC report. I'm talking about what they say created the nation called the Declaration of Independence, was what I just read to some point. Okay. I started reading it when I opened the show. Maybe I'll read the whole thing in next time. All right. And I would say, Liberian people, cloth yourself with that. But it says, and Liberia was called the barbarous course that they settled on. Meaning it was barbaric. All right. And I'm talking about how those who came from a different system instead of building a system that will absorb everybody, that we live together as Liberians. I'm talking about winning together as Liberians. I'm talking about we. It must be we to build Liberia. If there's a Congo, there's a country, we're not going to build Liberia. If there's a position and imposition, and the imposition is not listening to opposition, sometimes when you're in the house, you don't see everything that is happening, those who are outside. I'm talking about when the people yesterday, when we're talking to Yahweh, he was doing wrong. And the very people they're just doing to Papi Buakana was saying, where are you doing everything right? They're just jealous of you. They're angry people, just like they're doing right now. Some of the very people who are telling we are not to listen, anything against we are. That's what I'm talking about, Angel. Invest in our people so our people can build a nation. To start thinking, for us to roll up our sleeve instead of running to Washington, to IMF, that what people send the government to. Buaka has traveled almost every month from country to country. Every other month, people are here in DC. Every quarter meeting I have to do with IMF, their group is here. And my question is, so what if there were nobody to get loan from? How are you going to pay the loan? We take loan to pay lawmakers. The budget increased. No money for operation. No money to educate our population. No money to build schools. But we have 50 plus more. We have money to lawmakers. In the United States, when lawmaker pay increase, it does not become active until that particular segment of the lawmaker gone. So let's say if you pass a law to increase the lawmaker budget, it's not going to happen during that 54 or 55 legislature. It will be the next group of legislature after that election. So most of the people will be gone before they get it. It will not just go into the budget right away. They don't do that. They don't do that. So hopefully, hey, Alfred, thank you. I need for us to talk. When you, that was not you, Alfred. That was Emmanuel who wrote that. He talked about Chair Chipo. Chair Chipo did not resign. He wanted to resign. Though told the people to get him out. He didn't want him to resign because he wanted him to be disgraced. So we will continue the conversation on Thursday. Hopefully Peter can join me. Do I have a good night? I've been here long. I'm going to go rest. It's a good day. I have 2 PhD graduation this week. Caroline Wallow, your beautiful Oma want to stop and say to you, congratulations, love. I am super, super proud of you. Let me see if I can pull that. Okay. Oh, wow. Started small. Congratulations, mommy. Oh, wow. Started small. I remember partnering with you. I need to get, wow. Yeah, I'm going to play Caroline, my own little niece, who just, exactly. The kids are not in school. Listen, we're going to talk about this on Thursday. And I'm going to tell you, and I always say to everyone, your country quality of life, your country ability to make money, your country ability to advance is all tied into your literacy rate in this day and age, meaning the educating of your people, your children. That's what you must You must. Okay. But I'm going to do Caroline Wallow. Caroline is graduating. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Dr. Wallow, 2 doctors in the scene. Oh, God have mercy. Like in our house, right? Yes, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Dr. Wallow and Dr. Wallow. All right. So I'm going to play this and I'm just going to say to her, congratulations, and we're going to call it a day. All right. Liberia, the legislature was supposed to, even the Civil 7 right there, they were supposed to do something with it. They were supposed to make a law. Hey, Wayne, welcome. Hey, Bobby, welcome. All of you, those of you who tune in tonight, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I got to go. And I want to say to Caroline and all of you who are graduating this weekend, even at my school, there are a lot of graduation going on, a bunch of PhD coming down. This is Caroline Gam. She is ready to roll, and I am.
This is the doing of the Lord. This is the doing of the Lord. My eyes have seen the goodness of the Lord. I can't explain his mercies every day. Testimonies all around. This is the doing of the Lord.
So I want to say to Caroline, congratulations, Mama. I'm super proud of you. But here is the story that I want to end you all with, okay? Okay, when I get off, you can call me, okay, Andrew? Here is what I'm going to end this story with tonight. This week, there will be a lot of Liberians who experienced the war. And I'm going to tell the story of my little niece who were born during the war, who mother for greener pasture left. And she had to stay with her mom, older sister who reared her and came to this country. That child that just came yesterday is getting a PhD in nursing. I'm a doctorate in nursing. Doctorate in nursing. Imagine if this child were in Liberia still. Imagine Caroline at 10 years old, she could not speak English or read English. Imagine. Imagine what Liberia would have lost on or lose on. Where we lost. How many are left by the roadside that way? Caroline Wallow will be called Dr. Wallow in the coming days. Brilliant. Graduating with honors or distinction. Courage, little girl. Her life is set, and her generations are set in this country. When you offer your people opportunity, and that's what all Liberians are being asking for. Create a space for competition. Competition breeds talent. When you get the best among us to lead us, the competition will grow. Let me tell you something. When Obama was president in America, most black men in America who were players wanted to be good, wanted to have one wife, wanted their wife to be Michelle. The black women wanted, the young boys dream that this was possible. They could be an Obama. Graduation in the black community for high schooler went up. Marriage went up because there was an example. Look at what people, who are the examples that our children will want to imitate. Then when we ask ourselves, why our children lie? Why our children steal? Because the role models are liars. Majority that we see every day. They're liars, they're rogues. They play the nation and they continue to. We will talk about Guinea and Liberia to maybe on Saturday. But I'm getting off. Andrew, you can call me. Okay, you can call me on my. I don't know if you can call me on my phone number is on here somewhere. Let me see. Here is my phone number. Guys, on Thursday, I will put my number here. I only need your please come. Here is my number here, so you can call me on it. But this is not the number. I'm gonna put my cash app on. All I need is $10 from each person. I'm gonna do my weekend volunteer teacher rally. And what I'm gonna start doing is I will choose different teachers. We're gonna do the numbers again, but I don't want one person to win over and over, so we can rotate because there are a lot of people, so everybody can get an opportunity. But I will also do the lucky ticket besides giving somebody. I'm in a chat room with about, I think, 500 or 5,000 teachers. Out of mine, I have a kid in college. I have 2 kids per se, and I can't help everybody, but I can help 3 or 4 person during a pay period. Hopefully, I can put a smile on somebody's face. As an educator and as a lifetime learner, education is really important to me. And as an educator, I know what it takes, the love and time that it takes to put into to pour into somebody else, some other people's children, to help to change their future. So again, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much for all of you who tune in. God bless. I'll see you Thursday night around the same time. Okay? Hopefully, this is it. All right, there we go. I will get some stuff together. I have the young man to make a music for me. I have a music here I've been playing a long time, but I want something else. Okay? Thank you.